I have here a review of The Laughing Dead for you, so let's get on with the review, shall we? By the later 1980s, the horror genre had declined pretty badly. The inventive practical effects and energetic storytelling that defined earlier decades had given way to formulaic plots, shrinking budgets, and a general sense of creative fatigue. Many films from this era feel rushed, uninspired, and content to coast on whatever gore or shock value they could muster. In the context, The Laughing Dead stands out as okay. It's far from a hidden masterpiece, but it's not a total disaster either. It's a middling B movie that offers just enough weird entertainment to justify our watch for genre completists. The story centers on a ragtag group of people who embark on an archaeological trip to Mexico to explore ancient Mayan ruins. What begins as a somewhat academic adventure quickly turns dangerous when the group stumbles upon a zealous group of locals attempting to revive a deadly ancient ritual for their ancestors. Well, I should say of their ancestors. From there, the film descends into a chaotic blend of ritual horror, chases through the jungle, and increasingly bizarre supernatural encounters. The premise has potential, mixing cultural folklore with splatter horror tropes, but the execution is uneven and held back by the limitations of its era and budget. Performance wise, most of the acting is pretty bad. Many of the cast members deliver their lines with stiff wooden energy, and the dialogue often feels clanky and unnatural. Several characters blend together into forgettable archetypes, making it hard to become fully invested in their fates. That said, there are a couple of bright spots that prevent the movie from completely falling apart. The characters of the priest and the little boy with attitude are generally fun presences. They inject some personality and spark into the proceedings, with the boy's cheeky demeanor providing welcome moments of levity and comic relief amidst the bloodshed. These characters help make the film somewhat entertaining at times, lifting it above the sea of bland supporting roles. One of the movie's main strengths is its excessive gore. There's no shortage of bloody violence and practical effects, which deliver a certain cheap, over the top entertainment value, even if the makeup and also the effects look crude by today's standards. The filmmakers clearly leaned into the splatter, and that commitment provides mindless fun for viewers in the right mood. It's the kind of gratuitous horror that defined many late 80s efforts, imperfect but occasionally effective at delivering cheap thrills. Still, the movie has its flaws. The pacing drags noticeably in the middle, the plot is messy and underdeveloped, and the overall production quality shows clear signs of the era's horror slump. The final act is where the film comes most alive, particularly in the last 20 minutes. Things escalate wildly and the energy packs up as the as the ritual reaches its chaotic climax. However, this section also highlights the movie's ridiculous side in forgettable fashion. There is one scene involving a dinosaur and a monster that has to be seen to be believed. It's so completely strange and out of left field that I genuinely couldn't believe they came up with this idea, especially in the late 80s. The sheer audacity of throwing that into the mix elevates the cheese factor to new heights, turning what could have been a straightforward horror climax into something hilariously bewildering. It's the kind of moment that makes a film memorable for all the wrong reasons, but still entertaining. In the end, The Laughing Dead is a flawed, low budget curiosity from a rough period in horror cinema. It's harmless enough if you're a fan of obscure 80s oddities and can appreciate its silly, excessive, and over the top gore, especially with those standout characters and the jaw dropping final act weirdness. But its lack of consistency, strong writing, or technical polish needed to rise above mediocrity. Casual viewers or those new to the genre will likely find better options elsewhere, especially if you've started getting into 80s horror movies. For dedicated horror hunters, though, it's a passable diversion that delivers exactly what its modest ambitions promise and nothing more. So my rating for this movie is 2.5 out of 5. If you like this sort of content, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel as I will be also reviewing more horror movies in the near future. And also, don't forget to comment if you've seen this movie and also just if you agree with my review or not. And also, feel free to just add your thoughts on the movie as well if you've seen it.